Alright. Hello and welcome to the episode 5 of the podcast. Uh, we're your hosts, the master of punctuation and always being on time, and Death by Mint. I'm the Jackal, he's Death by Mint,
And
and...
this is unnamed.
Yeah.
Untitled. We should just call it unnamed.
Untitled Project 5.
Volume 5.
So how you been?
Not bad, not bad. I may or may not get to speak with my store manager about some outbursts I had with a couple coworkers and customers, but
Oh, do go on.
just in case one of them happens to come across this, because two of my coworkers do know about my YouTube channel, and if they happen to look at my name, Death by Mint, they might find this. So maybe I should refrain until I know for a fact I'm good.
Oh, no. You go on. And use first and last names when applicable.
Not happening.
Okay. No, please. Do go on. Come up with names then. If you don't actually, just don't use their proper names. Because if without proper names, there is no legal action that can be taken. You
Perhaps.
you can't be accused of slander or anything like that because they can't prove
I'm not educated enough on the subject to know whether that's true or not. so I'm gonna refrain from putting myself in that position.
Then say it in a hypothetical. Hypothetically speaking, my coworkers are fucks.
Hypothetically speaking, one of my coworkers in particular said something off the cuff while I was clocking in, and
Allegedly.
amongst that thing that they had said several things. But when I had clocked in, I immediately was put to work with a lot of ketchup. And I don't mean ketchup as in the tomato paste that you put on your shitty French fries. I mean ketchup game as in no one since I had last clocked in had done fucking anything. So I needed to catch up on what they hadn't done so that we were back up to date.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Of course. Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
So I put something on the auto stacker, hypothetically speaking. This is all rhetorical, by the way. This is not something that actually happened.
Yeah, rhetorical and anecdotal.
Yeah. Yep. I put something on the auto stacker because I see that on the pre-slice list that this thing had not gotten done, and it is our best seller. So I put it on the auto stacker, and then immediately gets swarmed by customers, where after the machine has cut the product that I put on there, it sat there for almost 30 minutes and got out of temperature because I wasn't able to get to it. And customers come first, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the rule. So I'm in the middle of trying to defat this $16 a pound prosciutto, or prosciutto if you're one of those people that go to my deli to go buy prosciutto. That's like people who say GIF, even though everyone says GIF when it's actually supposed to be called GIF. They say GIF. Like, who does that, right?
Oh, it's
snobs. It's definitely GIF, but
it's GIF.
it's GIF, but no one says GIF.
Well,
so that was the joke I was making, because it's
not
prosciutto, but people call it prosciutto.
It's not peanut butter. It's a GIF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's GIF. So, anyways, hypothetically speaking.
Oh, we could go an hour just arguing about GIF and GIF. It's a GIF.
The creator of GIF said it was GIF.
GIF.
GIF. My name is GIF.
You're right. It is a graphic.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
It's traffic.
mhm.
Mhm.
That's like read and read,
Except both of
right?
those are actual things that are spelled the same way. You
So
you
you're
can you
saying
you can read a
that
book
a letter
with
cannot be used to make different noises in the English language. It can only make one noise, is what you're saying?
no, it can be used twice.
Because GIF and graphics are two different words. So the G is used in a different context.
I mean, it's the same context. It's just it's an abbreviation. That's all it is.
It's a different context because it's a different word. Graphics and GIF are not the same thing.
Yeah, no, one's an actual word.
Graphics and the hypothetical GIF are not the same thing.
Except graphics is part of GIF. It's the G. That's why it's a hard G.
So the Titan cards from the NVIDIA line, did you know that, what do you call them? Like, let's say there's a 1080 with the letters TI next to it. What do you call that?
Graphics card? I'm sorry, what was the question?
If you see a graphics card from NVIDIA,
Okay.
let's say it has the letters 1080 or 2080
Mhm.
with, like, for instance, you have a 2080 that you spent $1,200 on or more, right? On
Yeah.
a 2080 what?
TI.
It's called TI.
I hate you.
The guy who's in charge of NVIDIA calls it a TI, not TI. You're wrong. You
Even
want to call it TI. You want to call it TI, but it's TI because it's a Titan.
okay. As stupid as that is, that still doesn't prove your
As
point.
stupid as it's called GIF, it should be called GIF, but it is not called GIF. It's called GIF.
Well, here's the thing. It still doesn't prove your point, though. Because TI and TI, it's the T is still a T. It's still making a T sound. Whereas, like Titan, it's not like. I mean, T. I can't even use an example because T doesn't have more than one sounding. It's not like G that can sound like a J. It's
Correction. A T can also be used in the same way that a CH can.
right. Yeah, but this Titan
No,
doesn't have.
CH as in ch. T can be used the same way as C and H together. There's like literally less than 10 words in the English language that do that. Literally less than 10 words.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is like Chinese rather, like TZU, like. But
Well, you're thinking of Chinese. I'm talking
Yeah.
about specifically the English
I
language has
literally
less than 10 words that
can't think
use
of.
T in the context that a CH would.
Give me one
I
example.
can't think of them either. I just heard that was a rule that I thought was stupid.
Like I cannot think of any. Anyway, you were in the middle of a story.
Hypothetically speaking,
Yes.
I was in the middle of a story.
Potentially fictional fiction.
It definitely fictional. Didn't happen at all. I'm coming up with this like complete bullshit story. So, hypothetically speaking, I'm in the middle of defatting this prosciutto that is $16 a pound for a customer, and I get stopped by my coworker, hypothetically, to tell me what is that on the auto stacker. I told him what it was, and he's like, "Did you know that we had more of that on the rack in the walk-in cooler?" And I said, "No, I wasn't aware of that." He's like, "Didn't I tell you that?" I was like, "The only thing I remember you telling me was that you had done deals, and I was about to say, and furthermore, the pre-slice list didn't say that this was done. So if you had done it and you had bagged it, you're supposed to count it." Just saying. Didn't even get to finish saying that, and he's like, "So you doing that just costs us a lot of time. In the time that you did that, we could have got something else out when we're so far behind." I'm like helping this customer with like 10 fucking people behind her because I'm by myself, as if I'm not stressed out already. and he did it right in front of my manager, hypothetically speaking, who just watched it happen and said, and after the fact, when I was like, is he still in the department? I want to go talk to him. And she's like, just let it go. I'm like, the fuck do you mean let it go? What do you mean let it go? As if I'm not getting fucking swamped by customers and shit. And first of all, again, I didn't even get to the cheese. Let's say, because it was cheese I was cutting, not gonna say which kind of cheese. That's totally important because it's a hypothetical story, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to it in the first place. It fucking sat there. So what good would it have done if it was something that we needed more? Like, it's just fucking sitting there. So what the fuck does it matter what was on it? So I was really annoyed by that. And then afterwards, he kept making me move out of my position when I'm trying to clean the auto slicer, which is a tedious process that it's important that it gets cleaned correctly, because if you're going from meats to cheese or vice versa, you don't want to have someone who's lactose intolerant get any cheese on their meat.
Yeah.
Or someone who just doesn't eat cheese products generally, just shit like that.
Yeah, very
It's important that you don't cross-contaminate.
Yep.
And with this Stalo stacker, cheese and meat, whatever happens to be getting cut on it, will get into the smallest crevices, and you have to clean that by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we have very poor tools that are rarely actually there because I don't know, people throw them out or just take them. So I almost never have the proper supplies to do my job, hypothetically speaking. Of course.
Of course.
And again, my manager just lets it go, just lets people talk to me like that, whether it's a customer or a coworker, and nothing gets done. I can single-handedly make the pre-slice where there's 2 things that are not holes out of like the 30 things there, and get everything filled by the time I'm leaving -2. That's a pretty good turnaround when you're considering that you're getting people from outside of town tenfold in comparison to your normal, people that come to buy your products at this time of year. Because come May, I'm going to have been working at Hannaford's for 3 years. And so I know what to expect. And this is unprecedented for this time of year for how many people are coming here, because they're escaping their quarantine states to go to our state, which is not in quarantine, which is making the infection rates go up.
Ooh.
Yeah, like when I get people who say that they just came from Boston and how everything is really bad there because like there's a whole bunch of people infected, and how they're standing 3 feet in front of me without their masks on because we can't make them wear a mask. We can only ask them to wear a mask. We say that there's signs that say that masks are mandatory, but if we have to go up to them and make them wear a mask, we're violating our own rules of social distancing. Well, what are we going to do about it, right? So, bullshit.
Hey,
In the
I'm
words-
breathing here.
Yeah. So, after having a fit with my coworker, as I clocked out, I basically said, I'm the only fucking reason this pre-slice even looks presentable for you fucking assholes who are just standing around checking your fucking phones. Do not fucking speak to me the way you just fucking did. And I clocked out. And I... Hypothetically, I might have gotten a warning of someone overhearing my manager speaking about what had just happened, and a nice little meeting that is awaiting me my next time clocking into not tomorrow, Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. Frankly, if I were to hate myself and go back to my old job at Wally World, I'd be making $3 extra. I'd be making 16 in comparison to my 13.
Fuck you.
What? Oh, nothing. I'll have you know, I started at 1150, and it took less than a year and a half for me to get to 13 because of work merit. They have not given me one raise for time being there. It's all been for work merit. But I get people who make actually more than I do because they had more work experience, and they show up routinely 3 hours late for work, and also do no call, no shows frequently. But they're a full-time employee with full benefits. I hate my job.
Punctuality is important.
Yep.
Which is why,
as we practice on this show.
yes, because with one of our not mantras, but I don't want to say motto, but let's go with motto. One of our mottos, is we always want to be punctual and professional.
Mm-hmm.
We always want to make sure we do it on time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every time. So that's why we pledge to always be on time 70% of the time, 40% of the time.
More so than my coworker.
Yes.
So other than that hypothetical story that I'm talking about, that's fictional. That's about the gist of my work week for this week. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun couple days off until I come in on Wednesday and see what happens.
Yeah, I've my walk has been same old. I am starting to get fed up myself with
the new store. Really?
Yeah, it's kind of getting annoying being the only person doing jack shit.
Oh, so it's just the same as your old store?
Yes. Except more so, because I'm a driver now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I figured that you would get more work when you were a manager.
You would think.
Look at this boy! He thought! Yes!
But yeah, no, I mean...
Alright, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, at my old store, yeah, I was, a manager, and I mean, I won't deny it, towards the end of it, I slowly stopped doing the things I was supposed to be doing, and really didn't give any shits at all. But in my new store, I am just a driver. I make $8 an hour in store, $3.75 on the road. And like I will literally pass managers that are doing nothing on their phones in order to grab the phone that's ringing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the store I'm in now is extremely small. Like, extremely small. Like, the office is...
It's even smaller than the one you were working in before? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's inside of a gas station. So it's...
Okay.
I want to say the entire length of the actual store is probably it's less than 20 feet. Like 15 at most.
Wow.
So like there's a make line and an oven, and I shit you not, it's probably about this much space between them, and you have to think there's people standing in between them walking. So if I want to fold boxes or take my deliveries or whatnot, or go outside to take my deliveries, I have to be on this side. But if I need to wash dishes, or say go to the bathroom because I have to go through the gas station's counter and to go to the gas station's bathroom to use it, I have to be on this side. So if I'm over here doing dishes, and say I hear the pre-ring go off. So the pre-ring goes off like 45 seconds before the phone actually rings, unless they hit 00. So I hear that all. I'm like, okay, so the phone's gonna ring. So I'll keep doing my dishes because I check to see, make sure nobody's busy. Like they're not, they're just on their phones. And I shit you not, one person's on the cut table. Take the pizzas out and actually cut them. Other person's on the make line, like right across from each other. They're both just on the phones like that. I'm washing the dishes. I'm like, okay, one of them will get when it rings. One of them gets paid $12 an hour. One of them gets paid roughly the same I do, but they'll an insider do. So that's what they're supposed to do. So then the phone actually rings. So I want to say every like 3 seconds it'll actually like ring like that. So the goal is answer it under 2, basically. Like you hear it ring on you once, you're supposed to pick it up. So it rings. I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing my dishes because they're still just on their phones. I hear it go off twice. I'm like, okay, let me check. Like, what are y'all doing? As I'm still washing dishes, they haven't moved. Then it goes off a third time. It's like, okay, let me stop doing the fucking dishes that I'm doing because nobody goes back there and works on those at all. The sink is full. Like, I have a pile stacked on the floor. Walk between them to dry off my hands, then turn around and answer the phone. And that kind of bullshit can be applied to most of my issues. Is just like I should not have to.
It's just that you're expecting too much of your coworkers.
Clearly, it's like.
I mean, you're like, I'm sure you've seen that movie Bad Bosses, right? You're just a bad boss.
But I'm not a boss.
Bad driver. Yeah, but you're a bad driver.
I am a grunt level employee.
Mm-hmm.
So I as an ex-management, I know how to make pizzas. I know how to do what needs to be done. But I am a driver now, so I should not I shouldn't be expected to do things management should. But there's a policy that Domino's has, which there has to be at least one manager in the building at any given time, which makes sense. But I have one manager who, if she's not on the phone while in the store, like she will just be like talking on her phone while making pizzas and shit. Like she will be outside smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll be doing dishes and then stop to look and realize I'm the only person in the fucking store. So like there's a fucking order on the screen, there's someone standing at the counter, and I don't even know because she doesn't let me know when she goes outside to smoke. Shit's not getting done, and it's like, why the fuck am I in here by myself? I'm a driver. And it wouldn't be so bad if she didn't do it every 5 fucking minutes. Like, as soon as she has an opportunity, she will go outside and smoke a cigarette for like 10 minutes at a time. And it is astounding that it's able to happen at all.
It reminds me of my old boss's 40-minute cigarette breaks that he would take 3 times a day. While he's not just going by himself, he's taking my only other coworker in the department at the time. So while I'm getting swamped with literally double digits of people, they're out in front of the store having a fag.
And by that we mean cigarette.
By that I mean cigarette. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
I would never be offensive on this channel. Ever.
Not once.
Just like I'm always punctual. Well, I actually was punctual. I was ready.
I don't. Are you referring to something? I don't understand.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, and then my fellow drivers, like, they will just stand around and do jack shit because like the size of the
Unheard
store.
of.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was bad at my old store, but no, those drivers.
Do you miss your old store?
Sometimes, because I actually made money as a driver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
So the tips are just really shit. where you're
That
working
and
now?
there's just not nearly as much business. Like literally, we open at 10. It wasn't until after 11 that we had even a pickup order. Like, the store made zero money for an hour.
Mm.
I didn't get my first delivery until like 11:30, 11:45. So that entire time
Wow.
we were literally sitting around. Like, I mean, I had done all the dishes because there wasn't any, because it was just prep dishes because they hadn't done anything. I filled the Coke cooler because of course nobody did that the night before. I
The
filled it
what?
all Coke cooler, like drinks, soda.
Like you have to refill the fountain?
No, we don't have a fountain. Like, the gas station has a fountain, but we ourselves have a cooler, which we have all Coke because
Okay, I
Domino's.
assumed because you were in a gas station that you worked off of a fountain. That's
Oh,
what
no,
I assumed.
no,
Like in store, like you know, bring fountain drinks to people.
no.
That's
I
what I
I
thought you meant.
assume RPM, which is the franchise I work for, has like a contract of some sort with Coca-Cola. So yeah, um, but yeah, no, we fill that up so that those are actually cold drinks, folded boxes, and so there at a certain point there is literally nothing else for me to do because I've done it all, and there's nothing
Mhm.
else to do because we haven't made any money, haven't sold anything, so that I had to sit around at that point. Even then, I was standing. Um, so yeah, I'm not making nearly as much money there as I was. Oh, there as I was at my old store. Um, but like when we all busy, and again, keep in mind the store was fucking small as shit. So there will be like 5, 6 drivers at some point, and like I am having to like stop and try to squeeze through them to get something over here on this side of them, then go all the way back to actually give it to someone or use it. Um, so I'm about to take my delivery, um, and I notice, hey, we're almost out of pan boxes. So I mentioned like, hey guys, we only have one more folded pan box left, and again, three fucking drivers just sitting there doing jack shit, and they're like, one of them has the gall to say, oh, that's nice to know. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Why the fuck am I doing anything? They're getting paid the same as I am. Why am I
So
bothering to do anything?
the real question is why are you bothering?
I
If
have no
they are
idea.
getting away with it, why are you actually doing it?
I genuinely don't know. Because one of these days I'm gonna
Stop yourself.
I'm going to at some point, and it's like I don't understand it.
I mean, like legit, all you have to do is say, well, they're standing around. I don't see why I couldn't stand around. Bring attention to it.
It's a mess.
You should get yourself kicked out of that store and then have them send you back to your original store so you can make money again.
No, if I get kicked out of this store, I'm kicked out of the company. They made that clear.
Oh, was that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's Domino's. But other than that, I have made the more noticeable change of I am now in
Mm.
my new apartment. Um, yeah, yay me. Yep. I resolved. Oh yeah, let me tell you about the U-Haul incident because I resolved a U-Haul for one of.
Please
Yes.
do go on.
Uh, so yeah, I resolved a U-Haul so that me and my brother could basically get all my big shit because I still haven't brought
Which
everything
one, the
over.
useful one or the fat one?
Okay. Well, one of them, and I won't tell you which one, I have told them about this podcast and given them a link to it.
Let's be
So,
honest, neither of them are gonna watch it.
yeah. Um, but
Let's be
yes,
honest with ourselves here. So it's Jeff that was helping you.
yes, it was Jeff that was helping me. So yes, Jeffrey was helping me move. But yeah, I haven't actually brought everything over yet, so it's still a work in progress. But I did get a U-Haul so that me and him could get all the big shit I wouldn't be able to get by myself, at once. Um,
Yep.
So I went online, resolved a U-Haul. They gave me a list of like locations and said like, okay, so I want a 10-foot U-Haul. I figured that would be fine. So it's like, okay, this location is farther away, but it has one. Or you could get this one, which is literally on the same street as both the apartment I'm moving out of and the one I'm moving into, but it doesn't have a 10, but it does have a 15. So I'm like, okay, I'll pay like $10 more and like 20 cents more per mile on a 15 foot, but I'll end up saving money in mileage because it's on the same street when I return it. So it made more sense to me at that point. So I'm like, okay. So I do this like a week in advance. I resolve it. So the day of comes. I get there at my pickup time at about noon. I'm early for once. I'm actually punctual. So I go in.
What are you referring to?
I don't know. I was on time, as I always am. I am the master of punctuality. So I get there, and I sit down with the lady. We, talk, finalize the information that she needs. Then she gets to the thing. It's like, oh, I don't know why they sent you here. We don't have any 15-foot U-Hauls in here, on site. I'm like, oh, okay. So she calls around to the locations nearby and asks, hey, do y'all have any 15-foot in stock on site? I think it was the second person she called that actually said, yeah, we have one. So I drive, down the street, past my old apartment, not quite as far to my new apartment, to where that location was. I go there, and they didn't have any 15s on site, even though she just called ahead and they said they had it. So at this point, I'm a little bit aggravated, because it's like 12:30 now, when I was supposed to pick it up at 12 and only have it for 4 hours. And I'm starting to think to myself, why the fuck did I even bother to resolve a truck if I'm dealing with this shit? So I call the original lady back, say, hey, yeah, they didn't have any. So she says, okay, well, we'll just give you a 20-foot. So I drive back, like thinking, oh, God damn it, I'm gonna have to pay for 20 now. It's like funds are still tight because
You would think that they would give it to you for the rate of the 15,
which
since
they did end up doing. When
Okay.
I got there, I found out they did actually do it at the 15 rate because I did resolve it ahead of time. But I was still thinking, like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I still think it was pointless for me to resolve it at all because it's like, it said it was there. That's why I chose to do that one.
hmm
So yeah, I didn't get to my old apartment and start like loading it with shit until like 12:45. And annoyingly, my time to bring it back was still 4 o'clock. They still only did it for the
That's
4
great.
hours, but I didn't get it, so I didn't get the full 4 hours. Luckily, I didn't need it though. I ended up returning it by like 3:20. But yeah, me and my brother started, unloading the shit from the third floor, and this was on the second floor, so that's a relief. Yay! But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Still got a lot of clothes and shit that needs to come over, but all the hard, difficult stuff is here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Just like the unfolded pizza boxes.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should go fix that.
I'm off today.
That reminds me of a time that this. I'm not sure if I ever told you about the story on stream or off. I can't remember. About there's this woman who, when I worked at Wally World, she would come by like nearly daily to get a free sample of mozzarella sticks from me, because even though I know damn well that she knows what they taste like, because she comes every fucking day to get a sample of them, if she hasn't gotten one that day, I have to give her one. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the rule. I actually had to ask about it. Like, am I going to get in trouble for doing this? Because, like, she's not the only one that does this. I have multiple people who come in every day to get a sample just because they can get it for free. So, she came by one time in particular, and she says, you know, so how about I take you home with me sometime? And I immediately, without thinking, responded with, oh, I don't fucking think so. Immediately she was like, no. Dude, legit, like you see it shows what a character like thinks to themselves after they said it, like, holy shit, did I just fucking say that? You know? That's what I was saying to myself. I actually experienced something like that. I was like, holy shit, did I just say that?
Fuck.
You know? Well, long story short, TLDR, too long didn't read. Last year she applied at Hannaford's to work in my department. But I don't think she recognized me. Thank God. Putting on weight really saved my ass there.
Jesus Christ.
So, she worked in my department, and like your that's good to know story, she left cleaning solution on top of the service counter where customers can see it, where you're not supposed to put shit like that up there, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, basically, translation of what we're taught is customers see chemical, they think chemical on sites or chemical on food. Chemical bad.
Yep.
Yep. So she left it on there, and after like 2 times of her doing that, I took it down, and on the 3rd time, instead of taking it down, I was like, yo, so like you left that cleaning solution on the service counter. You can't do that. I was like, that's something you can get in deep trouble for. She's like, well, if you saw it, you can just take it down. If you have time to tell me about it, you can do it yourself. And I'm like, okay.
Gotta love people like that.
So, I was like, I made up a lie. I was like, well, I've gotten in trouble for that myself. I was just trying to save your ass. And she comes back to like 15 minutes later. She's like, oh, I thought you were just being an asshole. I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool to be trying to look out for me. I'm like, yep, okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So after that, things got a little bit weird. Like, she would frequently, when I'm in a corner of my workspace, would walk up and put her backside against me as she's like brushing against, you know, trying to squeeze by, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a time like I'm trying to grab something from the back bar is what we call it, and basically it's a refrigerated shelf, essentially.
Okay.
And to grab the open products, they sit beneath us. We have to lean over and grab them.
Oh God.
Well, you know where this is going already. Okay, great. So,
Sexual assault.
needless to say, she wears a violet G-string to work, and I find this out because as I'm reaching for something, because I heard my customer asked for it, she reaches for it too, but in front of me, and sticks her ass out with her G-string and literally puts it on my hips, and like makes full contact with me and walks backwards into me as she's doing it. Like, oh, I was trying to reach for that. I'm like, why? She's like, oh, my customer wanted. I was like, what customer? That's my customer. Another month passes. She gets fired. not for that, even though I complained about that. But no, that again, when I complain about something, they don't give a shit. What they fired her for was for after clocking out of work, she brought her boyfriend to the rec room where she was grabbing her clothes. That's what got her That's what got her pinned.
Jesus.
Was that, which people do all the time.
Jesus.
I don't even actually think that's against the rules
Christ.
to do that. I don't even actually think that's against the rules to do that.
So I just noticed I forgot to do something.
Okay.
What's
that?
I never changed the stream info back from Cuphead.
You fool. Don't even get any ideas.
What? You don't wanna suffer emotionally?
Nope. Not in the slightest today.
But why not?
Because I don't work for The Verge, which is a great segment for my next topic.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Have you heard about Mortal Kombat 11?
I have, actually.
Okay. Now, are you aware of a certain character who is being brought to Mortal Kombat 11? Starts with an R. Ends with an Ambo.
Ronald Rambo?
Ronald Rambo.
I was gonna make some other kind of joke, but Rambo ended up coming out.
So, Rambo is being introduced to Mortal Kombat 11. Now, why is that a topic? Well, simple. Because NetherRealm Studios needs to denounce Rambo now that he's in the game. Because he's a violent white supremacist who kills Vietnamese people. According to The Verge. And friends. Now, what is your take on NetherRealm Studios adding a well-known white supremacist to their game?
Okay. Now, this is Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was Freddy Krueger in Mortal Kombat 10, or was that also 11?
9.
No, fuck, it's been that long? Okay, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was Xbox 360, my friend.
Fuck. I mean, you might not be able to tell, but he, you know, even though he's born and shit, was also a white man who just happened to be a child rapist who was, you know, killed by the teachers and parents by locking him in like a shed and yeah. You're not gonna denounce him? I mean, let's see. Let's just talk about.
Well, what if he doesn't identify as white anymore because his skin isn't white? What if he's transracial? Because that's the thing. Don't forget Elizabeth Warren is a 0% Native American. Or the fuck she actually? She's like 3.17% Native American. Like, oh yeah, I'm Native American. Give me the scholarship for being an oppressed minority. But what if he identifies as a map? What if he identifies as a map, Jacob?
What if he's a fictional fucking character? Much like Rambo.
That doesn't matter. I can't even say with a straight face.
What if we talk about the fact that Sub-Zero literally rips your spine out of your back when he wins? We're talking about fucking Mortal Kombat.
He's Asian. But he's Asian, so it's okay. It's only not okay when a white person commits violence. Unless they're a liberal. In which case, if you are a liberal and you shoot a Trump supporter this past week in the face, then you get away with it. Because you were hired security, even though the security firm that you said that you were working for publicly stated that you were not working for them at the time of the shooting and that you've never worked with them before. Just in case you didn't hear about that one.
I did not.
That's 2 Trump supporters shot in cold blood in a month and a half, I think it's been. And both times they didn't do anything to get themselves shot. I mean, this guy in particular, this most recent one, he was pepper spraying the guy who shot him, but after he was already shooting at him.
No, but I did
On
hear
camera.
about something about like a bunch of people trying to kidnap a governor or some shit.
Yes, so a Wisconsin governor, I believe it was an attempt at kidnapping her was thwarted by I forgot which agency actually handled the operation.
Want to
but
say it was
essentially-
FBI. I want to say that's what I saw.
So FBI apprehended these individuals who I forget which group they belonged to.
Oh, there
But-
was an actual group they belonged to.
Yeah, it was a anti-government group. They had targets for both Democrats and Republicans alike that they were going to kidnap them and do whatever to them. But they had social media pages and stuff that they had people grouped up in, but they were an actual domestic terrorist organization that was thwarted by the Trump administration. And then after the fact of them being swept up after they tried kidnapping this governor, she blamed Trump for their violence after he was the reason that she's not kidnapped.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Well, that was
I
all.
hope you enjoy that story.
Yeah. That was all political segment of the show.
Mhm. Thanks, The Verge, for your sponsor. Hey, if I say that Rambo is a racist, will you give me money, Verge? Will you give me oppression bucks?
You're white.
I'm very clearly peach. You are white. You are white. Look at yourself. I ain't do nothing. I ain't even do nothing.
Am I oppressing you? Or you feel-
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, I have 2 tabs open up right now.
Mhm.
2 on 2 things that are on the same coin but either side. Now I don't. Now one of them, well, actually they're both dimensions, but I could open a third tab that I'm not entirely sure is accurate, but it is something I saw during the week.
Okay.
So let's start with the things I do have open. So, the PS5 Dimensions is basically the size of a fucking PC. Let's see. The PS5 measures 390 millimeters, or 15.4 inches tall, 260 millimeters, 10.24 inches deep, and 404 millimeters, 4.09 inches wide.
Wow.
Which, if I'm looking at these comparison pictures,
That's
which
a big honking boy.
It's a big honking boy. Like it's, like, are you aware of the like the big PS3? Like not the slim version, but the
The
original.
one that people turned into a grill.
Yes, that one. The PS5 is bigger than that fucking thing.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, it is substantially bigger than the PS4, and the PS4
I believe
Pro.
the PS5 is actually almost as tall as my ATX tower.
I believe I read somewhere that it is the biggest console that has
Yep.
been made.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. So it better
And
be
if you want
fucking
to put it on its side, you have to use you have to unscrew
yeah, the
the
fucking
mount.
side. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that great engineering? But hey, I'll tell you why it's great engineering, because they have a hole in the stand where you can keep the screw so you don't lose it. That's good engineering.
I also hold that it also has holes that you can vacuum the dust out, which I actually did think was cool. Yeah. So because the consoles will collect
What is the
dust.
point of that when you can just remove the sides?
Maybe it doesn't let you get like into.
Because you saw the teardown, right?
No.
You can get right to the fans if you just remove the removable fins anyways, the customizable fins. You can get right to them anyways.
Oh. I mean, I knew the side parts were removable.
Yeah, you can get right to the fans beneath that.
Oh, well. But yeah, they have like a whole design specifically so you can vacuum dust out of it, which I thought was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. But to compare the Xbox Series X, the dimensions are 151 by 151 by 301 millimeters, or 5.94 inches, 5.94 inches, and 11.85 inches. And this actually shows its weight too, which this did not show for the PS5, but it is 9.8 pounds, so just under 10 pounds.
So that, I believe, weighs about the same as the Xbox One X.
Oh yeah, I'm actually seeing right here. The PlayStation 5 is much bigger, though it weighs about the same as the Xbox Series X. Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, have you seen the Xbox Series X being torn down?
Again, I haven't seen anything that torn down.
That Xbox Series X within the plastic, like harboring all those parts, is like filled. Like there is very little room inside of that console. Like it is very compact.
Well, that's good. No wasted space.
And I thought it was pretty interesting. They took a different design to the motherboard. They actually have two different motherboards in that system.
Oh yeah?
Yep. So instead of having one large motherboard, they have two smaller motherboards that fit inside of the system to help keep that shape.
Okay, so I'm looking here, and so the other thing I was going to talk about was the fact that allegedly the Xbox Series X, one of the review copies that someone got, they were claiming it had overheating issues, but I'm now seeing that a top executive of Microsoft is debunking that claim.
That and like a lot of other people who have gotten their hands on it early have also debunked it.
Oh, okay, so that's good news then, I guess.
And in fact, the Xbox Series X has exceptional heating. I'm sure you've heard about that story of they actually had an Xbox Series X running in the desert during the day. They didn't have it in direct heat, like in direct sunlight, but they still had it in ambient temperature in the desert running, playing games, and it never actually got hotter than 70 degrees Celsius.
Damn. Well, what is 70 degrees Celsius? That's
So most computers that are liquid cooled under load go to 70 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
So most air cooled PCs go to around 70 to 80 under load, but liquid cooling, it's around 60 to 70.
70 is 158 Fahrenheit.
And again, this was in the desert.
That's fucking crazy.
Because naturally, whereas it's a black console and it will retain heat,
Mm-hmm.
if you had it in direct sunlight, the thing would probably fucking melt.
Yeah.
But in ambient temperature, it ran just fine. I mean, um, even the proprietary extra storage that you have to buy with the well, you don't have to buy it actually, but there's a proprietary storage that Seagate and Microsoft worked on for the Xbox Series S and X that actually has its own cooling on the solid state drive that you can plug right into the system. But one thing that Digital Foundry covered is that you can actually buy a SATA to USB converter and use a SATA drive, an not M.2, a 2-inch SATA solid state drive, and use that on your Xbox Series X externally.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And and that's a good option for a lot of people like me, because I happen to have 2 of them, and one of them I don't really use for my computer, so I could just use it for my Xbox Series S or X, providing I get one of them. All I have to do is just get like this, I think it's like a $13 converter cable, and it actually uses like the full speeds of the solid state drive.
That's what I'm wondering, because I'm wondering if USB and SATA connections are comparable, but I'm
So
not sure what the actual speeds.
You can get cheap ones, which will reduce your speeds significantly, but Digital Foundry did a video on it. This one in particular that they linked to their on their video actually almost matches the internal SSD speed of non-Xbox Series X optimized games. So they played Xbox One X games and they loaded nearly as fast as the proprietary storage and the internal storage that is on the Xbox Series consoles. That's impressive. And again, you don't have to buy that proprietary storage if you don't want to. That's just a quick plug and play system that they've got.
It looks like obviously SATA is faster, but it's not that that much of a margin.
Well, they showed the actual loading times in action, and there was like no difference.
Yeah. So that's cool.
So, yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the PlayStation allows something like that as well. I know that one thing I actually did like about the PlayStation 5 is that they have slots that you can manually install M.2 solid state drives on the PS5. You do have to remove the covers on the system, but that's still something you can do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, unrelated to gaming, but I have actually something I wanted to bring up. It's such a small thing, but I just wanted to talk about it. I found it amazing. How many Pirates of the Caribbean movies do you think there are?
Like 5, I think. I know there's the the original trilogy. I know there's the one with Blackbeard, and I want to say that they came out with another one, or perhaps coming out with another one.
So, have you seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides? Until like this week, I had never even heard of this movie.
I believe that's the one with Blackbeard, right?
Yeah, I had never seen that.
I want to say that was back in like 2014?
Because I only knew about the original trilogy and then the one that recently came out where I've already forgotten the characters' fucking names. It's been so long.
That's the 2011 one. Yeah, that's the one with Blackbeard, but yeah, that was 2011. Fuck.
Like, had you actually watched the movie? Because I had never even heard of it.
Yeah, I watched it. It was not great.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Apparently one came out in 2017. That's
the one where he was against the Hispanics, right?
Salazar's Revenge. I didn't know this one. Okay, this is the sequel to Stranger Tides. Yeah, I didn't fucking watch that one. Is there a 6th one?
There's going to be.
Okay, yeah, there's trailers about it. I mean, yeah, honestly, its entire quality dropped after the original trilogy.
that was just a short thing I wanted to bring up. That like literally, I had never even heard of that movie, like ever.
Yeah, I almost want to say I watched it in. No, I didn't watch it in the theaters, but I think I watched it with my dad. I want to say. I honestly can't remember. That was again back in 2011.
Yeah,
It was not great at all.
not good.
Not good. Uh, yeah,
Just like Johnny Depp's career
yeah.
has taken a turn for the worse.
Believe it or not, his the first thing he ever did, his first major role anyway, was a character in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow. Yeah, and then he was
a
killed
whole- Yes, he was killed almost immediately. Like he got
Yep.
sucked into the bed or the ceiling.
into
or
the
something.
waterbed.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
I watched that as a kid, and I remember because I didn't know the actors' names or anything like that, but I remember seeing him later on as I got a little bit older. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street.
I didn't recognize him. I just saw his name when it was showing the cast in the opening fucking credits, and I was like, wait, really?
Did you know that Jack Black actually did an advertisement for a NES title when he was a kid?
I believe it, but I didn't know that.
I forgot what the title of the game is, but basically you're like, it was one of the side scrollers where you're avoiding obstacles. You're just jumping from, left to right over like pitfalls and swinging on vines and crap.
Which honestly
he
is what
didn't-
most NES games were.
But that's something he advertised when he was a kid. I actually have the trailer for it. I watched it today just to remind myself of it. I was going to share it with you. I guess now is a good time to actually pull it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna click something and hopefully it doesn't fuck up the.
Well, you could share your screen and show it to the audience.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So luckily there was nothing in our chat recently that shouldn't have been seen because of
Recently.
Yeah. Recently.
What do you mean?
So now I know not to
I
click
would
that ever.
never. It was for Pitfall.
Oh, okay. That actually sounds oddly familiar. So maybe I did know, but so yeah, I'll watch that at some point. But yeah, I did not know that.
So, do you have any other topics you'd like to talk about, or should I just go?
Go as in like.
Go for the next subject.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I
So,
I'll,
I believe we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. If not, I'll bring it up now. Dranko and I are big Opie Ecchi enthusiasts, and,
okay.
and we were we were fans of this anime called Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out,
Okay,
which
that's-
recently ended, but they announced that there's a second season coming out, which is great. Now, unfortunately, until that season comes out, that new season, we're going to have a bully of a female main character, Drought. That is until this new anime comes out, which is going to be in a similar vein, but much meaner than Uzaki.
Meaner than
Have you
Uzaki.
ever... Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay. So, this is just a fan trailer of someone who made a trailer for a potential anime of this manga. Well, it turns out it was so popular that there's actually a anime of the manga coming out, and it's in a similar vein as Uzaki-chan. However, it's not big titty oppa, unfortunately. that part's lacking. But what got me on this subject, because I've heard of this before, because it was I forget, there's another anime where they're like the main female character teases the main male character of the show. It was I think she's called like the forehead lolly. I forgot what her fucking name is, but people liked her because she was like Uzaki, playful, but made fun of the character and embarrassed them and shit. Well, this one is a bitch. Like this one, it's gonna be really fucked up when we're laughing at how mean she is to this guy. But someone took a meme. I really wanted to find this meme because I brushed by it and I didn't save it. I really wanted to show it to you because it was really messed up. They took Nagatoro's face for the anime and they put it on a child playing with this woman who, you know, is just crouching down with them. And there's a photo of that same woman in like World War II era by like hanging bodies and shit. You know, implying, of course, that she was a Nazi before she moved to a different country and changed herself. Well, in that picture, they had the author who wrote this manga, Please Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro-san, and his previous works. So I looked up the author's name. I looked up the author of Nagatoro, and I was not disappointed. Rather, I was disappointed in humanity, but I was not disappointed in my findings. Let me tell you, this author is fucked up. However, this is like a much more toned down, just mean character in comparison to what he has worked on in the past. I look forward to watching this with you when this comes out because it's going to be not, I wouldn't say it's going to be even like half as fucked up as ReZero, but
I mean,
still fucked up.
That's a high ball to hit.
Yeah, it is a pretty high bar to hit, isn't it? I mean, it's at least it's not. That's the thing about I like about ReZero is that even though it's fucked up, it's not edgy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are animes like Mirai and Nikki, for instance. When you told me like don't watch that because it's edgy as shit. You have told me that before. I was like, what was that character? Was she Mirai Nikki? I had asked you about it. I was like, who's that character where she's like, when she says Yuki, she like creeping in a doorway and you can see her pink eye and she's like, Yuki. And you're like, oh, that you looked up like, oh, that's Mirai Nikki. It's like a really fucking edgy anime.
I've never seen
Yes,
this.
it was.
But I do know who the character is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So, very fucking edgy anime. Like Berserk, if you're a woman, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I'm going to have to finish that sentence, and you know what I'm talking about if you've seen Berserk.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, it's not great for women in joke.
No.
It's not.
But Mirai Nikki's in that same vein. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it also goes for dogs, too. Dogs don't get mercy. It's also I like to think of them as JoJo references. Each dog that's horrible and brutal is a JoJo reference.
Is that a motherfucking JoJo reference?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
But yeah. January for the second half of season 2 of ReZero.
January?
It's gonna be a dry couple months.
Yeah.
This Nagatoro thing needs to come out sooner. And then Uzaki needs to come back out.
Is there a date for that? Probably not if it's just been announced that they're working on it.
Yeah. On after the final episode aired, that's when they had a live stream of the announcement. Although it could have been acting, they alleged that the actors didn't actually know that there was a second season going to be announced. And that was a surprise for them as well.
That's cool.
So, yeah. Pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
Now, if you have anything else you want to talk about, then now's a good chance.
Oh, no.
Fair enough.
Why did you have like something big that you wanted to end on?
No,
No? Oh, okay, because the way
I'm
you...
running out of ammunition.
Oh, okay. I mean, we did it over an hour and 10 minutes, so...
Our shortest one yet. We're making good strides.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a few viewers, though, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks for everyone that joined us. I know it looks like one person at least has left. Oh, actually, we had a few people show up at some point.
Wow.
I mean, I don't mind doing this, so I'll just go ahead and... thanks to everyone who, you know, decided to join. We had someone by the name of Atten. That's not a name usual we've seen. Cappy, we know who that is. Thank you.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
We know who Cappy is?
Yeah, I'll actually
Wow.
reply to your text in a couple of minutes once we wrap up. You're in there, so I'm not going to mention your name. Lorks, thanks for, watching the podcast. Public Citizen LTD, thank you. And Saddest Kitty, thanks for joining the podcast. I think we're about to wrap up though. So, yeah, any last thing you want to say or talk about?
So, don't play Rambo because he's a racist.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a white supremacist like Rambo.
Yeah. Don't be white.
Be like The Verge. Yeah, don't be white.
Just don't be white.
Your first mistake was being white.
Or man, or male for that matter.
That was your second mistake.
Yeah.
Because men can never come first. Because that's sexist.
Not gonna open.
Race
that can
had to
of
be
worms.
the first part.
Don't open that can of worms. Remember,
Hey, we're about to end. I can do what I want.
like come forth.
Yeah. I'm gonna quote one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard from someone I played with on Xbox Live. If she doesn't come when I come, she's fucked. Blatantly does not give a shit. I live by that motto now. That man's a Chad.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.